Welcome to Galveston, where the good times are always rolling in. Take in the seas of asphalt right next to the beach, with plentiful car parking as far as the eye can see. Experience Galveston's rich history and culture from the comfort of your SUV. And enjoy taking a ferry. Without getting out of your car, of course. It's truly a wonder of nature, with a spectacular view you can't find anywhere else. So what are you waiting for? Ride into Galveston today and experience a world away. Going anywhere in our world involves transportation, whether it be walking or getting on a bus. And today, there is only one practical way to get to the island of Galveston from Houston. Driving your car down Interstate 45. It's easy to take this for granted, as if cars and highways are as natural as the sand and waves of the beach. But there's so much more to Galveston than it being where Houston's roads meet the coast. It was once the richest, most populous city in Texas. This is because it was a gateway of transportation into the mainland United States. All major railroads served the city, and with its natural harbor, both people and goods could easily begin and end their journeys here by ship. Houston would eventually displace it, though, by becoming an even bigger center of transportation and commerce. This was primarily due to the creation of the Houston Ship Channel, which allowed ships to bypass Galveston. And it enabled Houston to become the beating heart of the oil and gas industry in the United States. Through processing the remains of dead sea creatures from millions of years ago, Houston's displacement of Galveston has now taken on a new form. This is because Galveston is known as a barrier island. Through its very existence, it protects the greater Houston area from storms and hurricanes, which includes the oil refineries along the ship channel. As a result, Galveston is what environmentalists call a sacrifice zone, having been killed again and again. And now, the black gold that has fueled Houston's growth into the so-called energy capital of the world has come at a high cost. Down the ship channel, Galveston will bear the brunt of climate change's devastation, from both stronger storms and rising sea levels. Whether you know it or not, you are an accomplice to the killing of Galveston, as over 43% of petroleum processed in places like the Houston Ship Channel goes into the dominant mode of transportation in the US today: gasoline for driving your car. Consequently, transportation is the biggest source of carbon emissions in the US. So every time Houstonians drive to Galveston, they are on a highway to climate hell, as the island will see flooding a majority of the year by 2050. But that's not all. Cars and the infrastructure made to prioritize them over all other forms of travel have also led to rampant air pollution, environmental destruction, and a public health crisis. as over 40,000 Americans are killed in traffic violence every year. Rather than giving us freedom, we have been made dependent on cars to access our basic needs. And this violent form of transportation is killing us and the places we call home. It wasn't always this way, though. In the past, we had other options. A century ago, you could take an electric train from Houston to Galveston. Public transportation was the norm, and places like Galveston were designed for people first. Not today, though. Galveston's dependency on cars does not serve those who call it home. Nor the over 8 million tourists that visit it every year. Almost 1 in 5 islanders live in poverty. Even so, due to poor public transit service, all are forced to afford the average $12,000 a year it takes to own and maintain a car. It doesn't have to be this way, though. Public transportation can not only save us money, it is also safer for us, cleaner and better for the environment and climate. It is also more inclusive of those who can't drive, such as children, the elderly, and many of those with disabilities. Ultimately, making bigger roads and parking lots has not alleviated traffic on the island. It has simply made it even more flooded by these violent metal boxes. So it's high time we end car supremacy. In both Galveston and Houston. And excavating lessons from the past can be a great place to start to tackle it, such as a train or even just dedicated bus service between the two cities. And by making the streetcars faster, more frequent, and prioritized over cars, making them more useful for tourists and locals alike. Fundamentally, one should be able to live in or visit Galveston without a car. Public transportation provides that freedom to actually take in and enjoy the scenery of both our homes and that of others.